Hey, what's up? So I thought we would take a look at the winter sowing containers. This has been a much requested thing to do. So this is the celery, starting off. I don't know why I planted so much celery. It's like some kind of sick joke I played on myself. I literally have no clue why I planted so much celery. Your guess is as good as mine. So it's kind of small though. Actually, this might be celeriac. I labeled them, but all the labels washed off. So it's either celery or celeriac. I don't know. This might be kind of quick, might be long. I hate being out here just talking because it's like no matter what you're doing out here, somebody's always listening to you out there. It looks like that's the feverfew. I only have a couple containers of feverfew, and it's doing pretty good. I don't know. Feverfew transplants out really well, and it's also really easy to direct. So really, whichever way you want to grow feverfew works pretty well. It's starting to rain pretty hard now, of course, since I just started this, but feverfew looks good. You can transplant that soon too. Alright, here's some yarrow. That's another really easy perennial you can start from seed. It's so easy. You can start it in the summer, you can start it winter sowing, you can start it pretty much whenever. These are going to be transplanted into, I'm going to try to make a perennial bed, I guess, but those are looking pretty great, so they'll have no trouble. They'll have no trouble going out in the yard. They're already pretty much big enough to transplant, so I'm not worried about that. I think that's the summer pastel mix or something. Don't quote me on that. I can't remember what variety I planted. Half of this stuff has no label, so in a lot of cases, your guess is really as good as mine. So who knows? Take a look at the milk thistle. Thistle is invasive here. I'm not quite sure if milk thistle. I don't know the differences between the two. Honest, I'm gonna have to look it up. If it turns out to be something invasive, I'll make sure it doesn't go to seed. But I just have a couple of those plants. I've never grown it before, so I thought, why not? They look prickly. They look pretty cool. They kind of have that, I don't know, thistle-looking flower that I really like. But we'll see what they turn out like, see what they look like. Hopefully they grow well. And I think they're perennial. Not quite sure. They might be a biennial. I'd have to look that up if they're perennial or annual or whatever. But first year growing that should be interesting. So here we have some of our cauliflower. I've changed sides of the camera. I'm not sure how the microphone's picking me up now. I don't know if I'm louder or quieter, if it's the same or what. Anyway, there's some cauliflower transplants. I didn't start many brassicas because it gets hot here fast and they don't produce very well. So, you know, why not I'm not going to take up all that space in the yard when I need to put something else in it. But they look pretty good. I mean, those are nice looking transplants. I can't argue with that. Let's look for the other brassicas I have somewhere. Hold on. Here they are. I think these are the broccoli. These are, I don't know what kind of broccoli they are. I think they're broccoli though. I could be wrong. They might be something else. Anyway, the transplants look good. That's the whole moral of the story. Winter sowing really works for me. I really like it. I don't know what else to even say about the brassicas. There's also some cabbages in here. I think I waited on the Brussels sprouts. I can't remember. There might be some Brussels sprouts in here too, but in general I don't grow many in the spring because I get a better crop in the fall, so I'm just gonna stick to that. I'm pretty sure it's about to start raining harder. It's so annoying. It's like I came out here, I was like, okay, good, it's not raining, I'll do this real quick, and then I went and got the camera, and then by the time I made it outside again, it was already raining again. Anyway, this is, I think this is oregano. I'm like 93% sure this is oregano. You can see I put way too many seeds in there. Eventually we'll make a video about how to separate the seeds out. But for now, this is just what it looks like. I'm going to let it grow on, let the transplants get a little bit bigger. And then we can transplant them into the garden. I'll probably just wait till after last chance of frost. And then we'll stick them in. So, looks pretty good though. While we're on the subject of winter sowing herbs, here's a look at my mint. Mint always just like responds really great to winter sowing. You can tell the container has way too much mint in it. Last year I had so much mint, it wasn't even funny. I had just containers and containers filled with mint, so I'm excited to have even more mint this year, and hopefully some of that mint that was in the containers will come back too, and we'll just have, you know, mint coming out our ears, I guess. I don't know, pretty good germination rate, no fuss. Really easy, like really easy. Here is I think this is butterfly milkweed. Just now starting to come up. If you've tried to grow milkweed before, you know the seeds can be just a real hassle to germinate. Just really important to have that alternation between, you know, cold, warm, the moisture and everything. And I personally think winter sowing is one of the best ways to go about germinating butterfly milkweed. So lots of new growth happening in that container. I went ahead and opened it up just because it's been a little bit warm here lately. So hopefully we'll get some more seedlings out of there, and we can have some really nice milkweed plants for our monarch butterflies. Alright, so this is another container. I'm not 100% certain what it is, but I think it's strawflower. I'm pretty certain that it's strawflower. Strawflower always germinates really well winter sowing. These can go out in the garden pretty soon. They seem to be somewhat cold tolerant. I don't know actually to what extent, because I tried to overwinter some this year, but the whole yard flooded. The whole yard had like 12 inches of water. A lot of stuff died. We'll talk about that later. I've been avoiding it because I don't want to talk about it, but strawflower, yes, look good. Alright, so this is another one. I'm not quite sure what it is, but my gut is telling me that these are petunias. We winter sowed our petunias not long ago. I want to say at the beginning of February we winter sowed our petunias, and they look really good. I'm really happy. I've never grown petunias from seed before, and obviously they do really well winter sowing. I'm going to make sure I protect these if there's a frost projected. A lot of these are cold tolerant, but some of them aren't, so I have to keep those protected. But yay, petunias from seeds. That's like way cheaper than just buying them, I guess. Up next we have some Rudbeckia. These are just like a wildflower mix Rudbeckia. I don't think they're anything like fancy or anything. They're just the cheap $1.50 wildflower mix that I got. But I always like having Rudbeckia. I think they're just so pretty. And I'm not really much of a wildflower person, but I really like these. Just nice big yellow blooms. Excited to see those, hopefully. Alright, next up we have some calendula. These look great. Again, hardy annuals. I feel like I should mention, I'm only obviously showing you guys one container, but I have multiple containers of each of these. So it's not like I only have like 3 calendula plants. I have probably 5 containers of calendula, multiple containers of everything else. So I've got a lot going on here for sure, but these calendula, they'll be ready to transplant out as soon as I can, if it ever stops raining, which it's probably not going to stop raining. Here's what's going to happen. It's going to stop raining, and then it's going to be 98 degrees. I've seen this before. I know how it works. Alright, so here's some Swiss chard. Again, this is just another one that as soon as it stops, as soon as I can work the soil, I can put it in the yard. I'm just waiting patiently, and the seedlings look great, and they're waiting patiently too, so I'm just going to make sure they're getting plenty of water, which I'm sure they are, and then I can transplant them out eventually, hopefully. Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know, maybe. Here's another exciting one. Here's rosemary. Growing rosemary from seed. Those look pretty good. It looks like I could have added more seed. I went pretty sparingly in some of these containers. It looks like I could have added more. Maybe more will pop up, but I don't know. That should be more than enough rosemary for me. It might, I don't know. I might start some more and see if it's too late or not. But hey, look at all that rosemary. That looks awesome. Alright, so these are either onions or leeks, and I've got both of them out here. I've got multiple containers, so I know both onions and leeks are growing. I'm just not quite sure which one these are. They're kind of small. I think they're kind of small for what I wanted right now, but I know they're going to be fine because I've done this before. But I think next year I'm going to pre-sprout them and then put them in the containers if I have a chance to do that, because I think ideally I would like them to be bigger, even though I think they'll be fun. Here are some Bupleurum. These are going to be looking really nice going into the cut flower beds, I guess. They're that kind of really green chartreuse color. Really, really pretty in flower arrangements, bouquets and stuff. So I'm excited to see those. Sometimes I have trouble germinating those. I guess winter sowing seems to work. I don't know if I'm the only person who has trouble germination with those. I don't know. I think these look pretty good though, so I'm going to let these grow on and get bigger so I can transplant them into the garden when they're bigger. Alright, here we have some of our sage seedlings. They look pretty good. Again, I didn't put very many seeds in there. It looks like we had some really good germination because I didn't put that many in there. They're giving some nice true leaves. I'm going to let them keep growing, keep getting bigger. Then hopefully we can transplant those into our herb box, which will be exciting. And I think we'll have a really nice herb box. So being totally real with y'all, I'm not going to show you guys everything that are in these containers today. You can see some of them are open, some of them are still closed. The ones that are still closed either haven't germinated or they have germinated, but they are heat-loving plants like tomatoes, peppers, tomatillos, like where am I from? Anyway, things like tomatillos, peppers, all that good stuff, roselle, peanuts. all of that stuff needs to stay as warm as possible, and it's just not that warm yet. So I'm gonna keep those closed, and I'm just gonna finish up showing y'all what I've opened up so far. So we're almost done. So here's the nasturtium. I definitely planted these way too early. They're huge. They look great. They germinated well, but it's just not time for them to go out in the garden yet. I planted them way too early. I guess lesson learned now, I guess, but there they are. And next to the nasturtium, this like kind of ferny looking thing, that's my garbanzo beans. I have several of those garbanzo beans, but I direct sowed a lot of them, and the direct sowing are coming up just fine. I just direct sowed them the same time I planted my peas, and it worked out great. So I probably won't winter sow garbanzo beans anymore. And now it's starting to rain really hard, of course. Here's a really beautiful thing of lettuce. I have so many lettuce transplants that I need to put out, but I can't because it won't stop raining. I know it's like all I'm doing is complaining, but for real, like, they look great. Anyway, it's kind of a lettuce mix. It's got some nice speckles and some darks, some red lettuces in there. It looks really good. Hopefully we'll be able to plant those soon. Here are the snapdragons. The reason they're kind of like laid over like that is we just had some torrential downpours, and they kind of just got flattened a little bit, but I've seen them do that before. They'll perk right back up, no big deal. Not gonna worry about it. I planted them really close together, so obviously I'm gonna have to transplant in chunks. You would think I would learn my lesson, but I never do, so. But, I mean, the size of them looks pretty good. Alright, last but not least, I have a few of these stock flowers, these forgot flowers. I just put a few seeds in the bottle. The germination was pretty good. I have a couple bottles like this. I don't have that many stalks. I think I planted a total of like 15, 20 seeds, something like that. But seriously, I'm really encouraged by how big these seedlings are, so I can't wait to transplant those. Hopefully we'll have some good sized stalk flowers this year. That's really about it. I hope this video was somehow helpful. I doubt it is. I'm gonna go inside and get all of the rain and let it continue raining. I hope y'all are having a great day. Talk to y'all later. Bye guys.